Graduation. It's a loaded word. It's something we work towards from the moment we step on campus freshman year.
And now it's right around the corner. The closer graduation gets, the more pronounced graduation rituals become.
After purchasing our overpriced caps and gowns, we see groups of people taking the quintessential graduation pictures every day on the quad.
Seniors check their last items off their JMU bucket list and plan boozy campus crawls. We search high and low for the perfect graduation dress and shoes. Grad parties are meticulously planned and attended at a tight schedule to ensure that none are missed.
Alongside studying for our last finals, we break out glitter glue, puffy paint, and even embroidery floss to decorate graduation caps.
The pressure to be original but also stay true to yourself and highlight all you've accomplished in 4 years at JMU on a small square covered in purple cardboard is high.
Soon-to-be grads post Facebook statuses to announce their future plans and rack up the likes. Others of us who don't have jobs yet dread the fateful question,
so what are you doing after graduation? All of these elements are a part of the ritualistic season of graduation.
The behaviors we engage in now represent our hard work over the past 4 years and hold anticipation about what is to come. One could even say,
this is the serious life.
Nailed it!
One of the most common graduation rituals is taking pictures in caps and gowns in various locations around the quad area. These graduation pictures are a visual representation of the culmination of everything we've worked towards here at JMU. The long, drawn-out process of applying to college, taking gen ed and major courses with countless hours spent writing papers, agonizing over group projects, and of course, having fun, have led us to the end of our college experience. But when we graduate, what do we have to show for our work and our play during our time at JMU? A diploma and pictures.
Graduation pictures are snapshots of a special place that also serve to encapsulate college rituals like friend group bonds and even binge drinking. Taking successful graduation pictures entails a checklist of its own. Specific locations and behaviors must be included in the photo shoot, which can cost lots of money and take lots of time. For instance, photos taken in little Jimmy's arms, getting in the Burris fountain, and of course popping champagne on the Wilson steps. While these pictures hold symbolic meaning about life in college, they simultaneously create gendered spaces on the quad. Not only is taking graduation pictures a more commonly female ritual that entails specific expressions of femininity through gendered costumes, even the props that individuals use in their photo shoots are gendered to a certain extent. It's Sunday evening, April 24th, 2016, and we're on the quad.
It is about 6:30.
And today seems like the day to take graduation pictures. In fact, I took mine earlier today. And we were noticing how the quad functions as a gendered space through this practice of taking graduation pictures because predominantly the groups of people who are taking them are women.
Yes. We have noticed a couple of men groups, but they seem to be affiliated with something.
Like an organization. And they've been in much smaller groups.
Yes.
And it's also later in the day. And when I was out here earlier around from like 1 to 3, I saw 0 men taking them. Hi, Paulina, want to come be in our vlog for our gender thingy?
Yeah.
Voice.
Yeah.
Hi.
So another thing that we've noticed is that the, almost gendered costumes seem to be like a uniform. So girls are usually wearing some kind of white dress, sometimes usually lace or something like that, and usually the shoes are wedges. Brown wedges.
Yes, it's this sort of uniform look. In fact, one that I had on earlier today, which is pretty interesting. And when we think about maybe the history of the white dress, it definitely has some connotations.
Yeah, definite connotations.
But it's interesting to see how that has carried over into this very popular practice of taking graduation pictures, specifically how that looks like a gendered practice.
Cool.
So I've been thinking about all of this gender performativity stuff, especially how it looks in the context of graduation, and thinking about it for my own life and circumstances as well. Because as we've been critically analyzing these rituals, I've been able to see them and understand them and try to deconstruct them a little bit. And yet, when I took my own graduation pictures, I decided to wear a white dress and brown wedges, like the very typical outfit that we've been talking about that's very uniform even. So I'm trying to think, like, why is that? Because I feel like I have some insight about this, like, performativity of gender, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I think that we need to be a little bit analytical about it. And so understanding these things, I still chose to intentionally purchase a white dress for graduation. And I honestly don't really know why, but I think it's about upkeeping a certain image that will be passed on to other people, like family members, family friends, stuff like that, through these pictures that are little encapsulations of my own gender performativity. And something about just being in a white dress is synonymous with graduation. Not sure why, but it is. And somehow, even after understanding all of that, it still informed my decision to buy that dress and wear that dress in my pictures.
The quad becomes a space that represents gender and class-specific behaviors during graduation photo shoots because of the distinct practices that take place. First, the props people use in their photos, most commonly alcoholic beverages, such as champagne and beer, perpetuate gendered norms as well as privilege. Groups of women shake up bottles of champagne to spray on the steps of Wilson, while men use 40s to mimic the same behavior, or shotgun cans of beer. These beverages have their own gendered connotations.
According to scholar Jo Lindsay, in her 2006 article, A Big Night Out in Melbourne, Drinking as an Enactment of Class and Gender, quote, "Drinking is not simply shaped by variables such as class and gender, but is an enactment and expression of these social divisions. What, where, and how a person drinks is a simultaneous enactment of class and gender," unquote. Champagne is a light, bubbly drink. It is typically served at brunch or weddings, both common performative celebrations of femininity. It is commonly associated with a lavish lifestyle and marks the joy and sanctity of an occasion through the symbolic visual overflow of bubbles from the bottle. The light, clean bubbliness of the drink is associated with expectations of femininity, similar to those connoted by the white dress: pure, clean, lightweight, and always happy. All of these are the symbolic markers of femininity subliminally expressed in one pop of a champagne bottle on the Wilson steps.
Beer is commonly perceived as a manly drink. It has a much darker, full-bodied consistency than its light counterpart, champagne. Beer is heavily marketed towards a male audience, although both men and women consume it. Media representations lead the public to believe that beer is a beverage consumed in man caves and at sporting events where men convene. Beer is an integral prop in stereotypically performative aspects of masculinity. Prior to talking about failure, we feel that this was a pretty successful enactment of a champagne pop.
What happens when the ritual of alcoholic consumption on camera isn't carried out properly? Failure is important to understand because it highlights the success that ultimately defines what ritualistic behavior is. Failure in the alcohol-related graduation picture ritual is related to the final product, how the picture will look when it is printed or uploaded.
Thanks. For example, the timing of the pop has to be just right. From the time that the pop begins, from the moment that the bubbles fizzle out, there is a short window of time that the photographer needs to capture those images. Simultaneously, the subjects must be cognizant of their facial expressions and the way their bodies occupy the space. If these conditions are not met, the shot was a bust.
Watch this clip and see if you can identify some of the elements of failure that we laid out. It starts off pretty well. Then 3 girls start to run backwards up the steps and get drenched by the champagne spray. The girl on the front right quickly runs out of champagne before the picture is taken. You can hear her scream, "Oh my God, it's out!" Also, they continue to spread apart from one another. At that point, there is no active champagne fizzing for the second shot. Some of them realize and try to reconvene to make the last shot better. The progression from the beginning to the end of the clip involves several of the elements of a failed champagne picture. Within gendered contexts, troubling behaviors work to deconstruct the meaningfulness of performative rituals. Troubling teases out meaning, elicits potentially unexpected responses, and pushes our understanding of gender to new levels.
Within the graduation ritual of taking pictures with alcohol, there is room for gender trouble. However, it seems to fit a double standard. Women take a quote-unquote masculine behaviors by including beer in their staged production graduation pictures. However, the sparse groups of men who take pictures are never seen popping champagne.
According to Jack Saddle in his 1976 article, The Inexpressive Male, Tragedy or Sexual Politics, the spectrum of masculinity is very limited, and it gives men little room to express themselves in any way except the stereotypical aspects of anger. While it might be seen as acceptable for a woman to take on masculine properties in certain situations, men who take on stereotypical feminine properties often are labeled as being gay.
In addition to the gender trouble in these drinking photos, elements of transgression can emerge in graduation rituals as well. While JMU isn't a dry campus, these photos transgress in public drinking laws like having open containers and drinking in public. As well as drinking in graduation pictures, another transgressive graduation ritual is the campus crawl, which involves drinking in important places around campus.
The campus crawl is gritty. It is about actively reminiscing at each memory-filled location around campus. Instead of hiring a photographer, people take photos with selfie sticks, get friends or even strangers to snap a quick picture for a Snapchat or Instagram post.
So the previous footage that you just watched was a campus crawl that was actually occurring about 7 o'clock on Sunday night. And then the footage that you're going to watch in a second is actually remnants of different campus crawls that we looked at and found in different places around the quad, as well as what you're listening to is an interview that we did with people who were actually doing a campus crawl.
We passed a cop and they're like super cool.
He was fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, y'all do your thing, it's okay.
All right, so what are some other stops that you guys have done?
We started on East Campus and made our way this way.
Yeah, we started in HHS because we had a lot of classes in there.
We went to all our freshman dorms.
Yeah, TDU.
Every class.
TDU,
yes.
Yeah.
Before SSC was alive, of course.
Yeah.
The go-to place.
Nice.
D-Hall. Out here we sort of just went
Went
to
to all the quad buildings.
Wilson and
Yeah, and just kind of walked the
And you guys had fun?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good.
I mean, it's
How are you guys like all connected?
Crew.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a campus ministry. So
Yeah.
it's been 4
a better
4 years
thing to
together. So
Got it?
yeah.
All right, so right now we're by the Little Jimmy statue, and what we've just found are some Jello shot remnants.
All right, can you move out of the
Yeah,
light?
sorry.
You can't really?
Can you put the flash on?
flashlight down.
Or I could just, here, yeah, let me put my flash on.
Yes. Look, an abandoned Jello shot.
Oh, look, here's one that's, been...
A container. Grad pictures provide staged snapshots of memories that can be cherished for a long time in the future. These are the pictures that are framed and shared with family members for a long time to come.
Additionally, certain graduation rituals are clearly marked as transgressive because of the clear measures JMU takes to prevent them. Signs are placed around the quad to dissuade students from stealing quad bricks or filling the burst fountain with soap. Cops are even sent to patrol the quad at night in an effort to stop transgressive acts like streaking and vandalizing JMU property. So actually, in the time that we were filming this, there was a cop that came onto the quad patrolling.
Yet again, and it's early.
Yes, it's
only
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah,
So,
on May 1st, so it's a Sunday, like night.
okay, so we're here tonight, April 30th, and a cop is here, probably to catch any transgressive behavior such as streaking or brick stealing. He was maintaining his post there at the top of the quad for a good 5 minutes. Now it seems that he's driving away. What is he doing? Does he see a streaker? One particularly transgressive behavior that JMU tries to prevent is the action of stealing quad bricks.
All right. So one of the ways we really know that quad brick theft is an actual transition. It's a transition. is an actual transgression is because the student ambassadors were actually talked to from like the dean of admissions. He came and talked to us during our meeting, and he was talking to us, and he was like, those signs are out there for a reason. Just make sure that you're spreading it around, that you yourself are not partaking in any kind of quad brick theft, that this is a matter of security now. So that's how they were kind of they transitioned that. Instead of a graduation ritual, kind of a tradition, they wanted to separate the two. They didn't want to have any association between quad brick theft and a JMU tradition on a JMU bucket list, like at all. Apparently there had been some actual serious safety hazards and concerns that had occurred. Someone had gotten hurt. I don't know if it's a prospective student or not, but so that's one of the things that they told us to look out for the signs, and also kind of just spread that that positive, like not a rumor, but positive thing around. So clearly, while the Office of Admissions intentions are good, while the campus police's intentions are good, this clearly isn't good enough, because these transgressive acts are still actually happening, as we can see in the footage that you're going to see in a second. Okay, I'm pretty sure that these people are stealing a quad brick in broad daylight. They have been going around all different buildings, like all over here, and testing wobbly bricks, and they just sat down on the path, and they look very conspicuous. I really do think that they're stealing a quad brick in broad daylight. Okay, so I've gotten a better vantage point over on the other side of the quad, and they've moved to the other side of the path actually, and they're prepared. They have a screwdriver in their hand, and so now you can see that they've popped out one of the bricks, and they're again conspicuously sitting, and right there you can see that they're putting the brick in the bag right there. And they have 4 of them. Yep. There they all are. I think they took a total of 4 of them.
Overall, as we come toward a time of closure of 4 years at JMU, we can look closely and see that there are several obvious communicative rituals that take place among soon-to-be graduates. Some of them are gendered, like the graduation pictures that contribute to performative feminine identity specific to JMU's campus. Some of them are troubling, and some of them are even transgressive, such as partaking in a campus crawl, a boozy way to culminate 4 years of memories, or attempting to inconspicuously steal a quad brick to hold on to a piece of the quad forever. As seen in the prior video footage, JMU attempts to stall these and even extinguish these transgressive behaviors. Nonetheless, after all of these graduation rituals, even the transgressive ones, they prevail, because they are an important part in solidifying JMU-specific identity prior to graduation. So I think for me, what graduation pictures meant to me was that I was a part of JMU tradition when I was taking these pictures. So because JMU is such a part of my identity, it's reiterated again and again when we say the Madison experience, when you wear that t-shirt that says, I bleed purple and gold, that we have such pride in our school because we love JMU so much, that becomes part of our identity. And I think that the graduation pictures are really a symbol of that identity. And like we've kind of been saying throughout this whole presentation, is just that these graduation pictures
and other traditions that contribute to the ritual of graduation are kind of what we can hold on to. And when I stood on the steps of Wilson taking those graduation pictures, I, could think about all those other people who had taken the graduation pictures right there. And I think that's why I wanted to enact some of the same poses that I had seen seniors do before, because again, now I am part of that tradition. Because I have this identity of JMU, of the JMU spirit, I felt the need to enact those specific poses because I too am now part of the JMU tradition and soon to be a James Madison University alum.
The door